Once, when I was very young and my dad was very sick and angry about being sick, he threw his medication into the kitchen sink and drowned the chalky blue pills in water. I remember seeing those and being so worried because he felt that way and because it would be so hard to replace those pills.
Getting $20 for my birthday at age 8 and my mom telling me she would hold on to it for me. I never saw it again, but I imagine it went towards my care in some way.
I remember after my dad passed away, my mom said she was relieved that they had bought a house either one of them could afford on their own. It ended up protecting us from a much worse financial state.
Can't think of anything.
My parents almost losing their home.
When I started working at 14, I felt great because I knew money would open doors to independence instead of waiting and hoping for an allowance.
I remember money was always a concern. It seemed like a normal thing. I remember when I thought it sounded neat to maybe become a lawyer because my dad told me they make $100 per hour, which seemed like an extravagant amount at the time.
Opening a savings account at the credit union when I was 10 or so.
I remembered that we didn't have a lot and constantly talked about it. Then one day when I was asking for things at the store, my mom said yes. She could now afford things. I remember changing my perspective and thinking, if she keeps saying yes, I should be more selective about what I ask for. It's not fair that she's buying me things I don't want.
My parents divorced when I was 9, and I had a few okay years until I was 14. After that, it was a constant struggle with a single mom raising 2 kids alone. However, before that, when I was 6 or 7, I remember asking my mom for money for the book fair, and she would say no. One time I asked my dad, and he wrote me a check for all the books I wanted. I had to promise to read each book, and I kept that promise. That was my most positive memory of money.
My father dying and realizing we were now on a totally different path where money went from not being a concern to money being a constant concern.
There's not one specific memory. I didn't grow up with a ton of money, but went to private school my whole life with very wealthy people. This has hugely impacted my relationship with money. Trying to keep up with the Joneses can get you into trouble. A lesson I had to learn.